Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my channel. Today and in upcoming few videos, we will discuss concepts of genetics that will help you all to face class 12 board exams, medical entrance exams and other exams which you are preparing for. The topics which we will deal with are Mendel's laws of inheritance, inheritance of one gene that is monohybrid cross, inheritance of two genes that is dihybrid cross, sex determination, mutation, genetic disorders. When you will understand these topics clearly, you can face any entrance exam after class 12. I have already uploaded many topics of genetics which I will arrange in 3 playlists. The first playlist will have topics which will help you in class 12. The second playlist will have topics which will help you to face exams of medical entrance. And the third playlist will have topics which will help you to face BSc, MSc and other entrance exams. The students who are in BSc, MSc or are preparing for entrance exams where biology is required should also start studying from class 12 books only, because it will help you to develop clear concepts in a systematic manner. In today's video, I will talk about few concepts regarding monohybrid and dihybrid crosses, as well as I will talk about genes and alleles, the differences between them and a clear concept of these. As well as we will discuss law of dominance, law of segregation.
Mendel carried out hybridization experiments on sweet pea. The meaning of hybridization is combining two parents or crossing between two parents. That is, for example, a tall pea plant was crossed with a short pea plant. This is called as hybridization. The meaning is given on your screen. Mendel chose 7 pairs of contrasting traits, which means traits are the varieties of characters. The characters which were chosen by Mendel were 7 in number. These 7 characters are given on your screen. For example, plant height, flower color, seed shape, seed color. These were the characters. So the characters which were chosen were 7 in number. But these characters were present in varieties. That means if every character had 2 variety which was visible naturally in pea plants. That is, whenever you see a pea plant, it may be present in 2 forms, either tall or dwarf. So these tall and dwarf are the traits, that is, they are the varieties of the character plant height. So Mendel chose 7 characters and 7 pairs of traits, that is 14 traits. These were chosen by Mendel for easy understanding or easy experimentation. Although there are many characters and many traits present in pea plant, but he chose these 7 characters or 14 traits. These traits were contrasting to each other. That means tall and dwarf, they were exactly opposite to one another. So Mendel chose 7 pairs of contrasting traits or 7 characters. These characters, as you all know, are due to proteins. In our body, everything is due to protein. And DNA is a loose thread-like structure which coils or compresses or condenses to form chromosomes. So chromosomes are nothing but the condensed form of DNA. That is, 2 strands are present. Here also 2 strands are present. The difference is the length over here is very much as compared to these chromosomes. Normally in cells, DNA is present in form of chromatin. The segments of DNA that form protein or help in formation of protein are called as genes. So, which means, as you all know, DNA is made up of nucleotides. These are biomolecules, which I will discuss in detail in my upcoming videos. So, nucleotides are present in DNA, and for example, this DNA has 100 nucleotides. Nucleotides present over here may form protein for one character, for example, plant height. Nucleotides present over here may form protein for example, flower color. Over here may form protein for seed shape, for example. So these segments of DNA which form proteins for some characters or help in formation of protein are called as genes. Sweet pea has 14 number of chromosomes, which means 2n is equal to 14. Like we have 2n is equal to 46. As you all know, every chromosome has one identical copy of it, which means suppose this is a chromosome and this works or forms protein for 10 characters. Similarly, those 10 characters will be also produced by this chromosome, which means suppose this is a this is a segment of DNA which forms gene for plant height. The same locus, that means locus means position. This is one locus, this is one locus, they both form one loci. Loci is plural, locus is singular, which means position. So these two locus or this one loci will function or will form proteins for plant height. So plant height is a character. So when the two chromosomes which will work for a similar character, they will called as homologous chromosomes. These both chromosomes will work for similar characters. Suppose this is one loci which works for plant height. This is one loci which works for flower color. This is one loci which works for suppose seed shape. So these both are homologous to one another. These both chromosomes are called as a pair of homologous chromosomes. This is a pair. So 2n is equal to 14 means there are 7 pairs of homologous chromosomes. Like we have 23 pairs of homologous chromosomes. Now as these both are genes, this is a gene pair. So suppose these both are gene pair. So homologous chromosomes have gene pairs. This is one gene pair. Suppose this is second gene pair. This is third gene pair. Suppose this gene forms one enzyme. Enzymes are proteins. Maximum 99.9% enzymes are proteins. So this gene forms one enzyme which can convert one substrate, that is one chemical, into another chemical which will act as one hormone, and that hormone will help in increase of plant height. So this gene will help in production. So we will put one tick. Suppose this gene will also form a functional enzyme. So these both will work. So these both when will work together, that plant will have a tall height. That will be a tall individual. So these both will be called as alleles. What are alleles? Alleles are the forms of gene. That is, these both are genes. This is a gene pair. So we are giving them names. So this is one allele. This is one allele. So genes and alleles are same. Alleles are alternate forms of genes, and genes work for character and alleles work for trait. That is, this gene pair will work for plant height, and these individually will either form that plant tall or will form dwarf. Thus, there are three cases of versions of genes. Versions of genes are called as alleles. So these are the three cases. In case one suppose both the alleles form normal enzyme. This one will also form a normal enzyme. This one will also form a normal or functional enzyme. In both these cases, the chemical, that is hormone, will be produced. So these both alleles will be called as normal alleles. That is, they will be called as dominant alleles. Dominant means the alleles which show their effect, which are visible in the physical characters of organisms. That is, these alleles affect the physical appearance of organisms. So the alleles which form normal enzyme are called as dominant alleles. So these both are dominant alleles. As you all know, dominant alleles are written in uppercase alphabet. That is, suppose we are talking about plant height, so we are choosing one alphabet T. The alleles which will work normally will be given capital T, capital T. So this case is capital T, capital T. In second case, one allele will form a functional or normal enzyme. The other allele, for example, cannot form a normal enzyme, which means it forms a non-functional enzyme or no enzyme at all. So because of this allele, no hormone will be produced. So in this case, only one copy of hormone will be produced. So the allele which cannot form functional enzyme will be called as modified allele, and this modified allele will be given a lowercase alphabet. That is, we will write it in small alphabet. That is, capital T will be used for normal allele and small t will be used for this modified allele. In the third case, for example, both the alleles cannot produce normal enzyme, which means they both form non-functional enzyme or no enzyme at all. That means in third case, there is 0 copies of hormone which will lead to tallness of the plant. So these both alleles will be represented with small letters, that is small t, and these both will be called as modified alleles. So the alleles which are modified and cannot show their contribution in the physical appearance, which is called as phenotype. Phenotype is the physical appearance which we can decide by looking at the characters of the organism. So the alleles which cannot show their contribution or cannot work towards phenotype are called as recessive alleles. So the alleles which form or which show their contribution or which contribute towards phenotype are called as dominant alleles. They are written in uppercase alphabet. They are normal alleles. They form normal enzymes, and the alleles which are modified, which do not contribute towards phenotype of the individual, they cannot form normal enzyme, that is they form non-functional enzyme or no enzyme at all. They are written with lowercase alphabet and they are called as recessive alleles. This is first law of inheritance, that is law of dominance.
So it can be said that the word gene is a collective term for the nucleotide or DNA sequences of both the chromosomes which are homologous to each other and work for a particular character, and alleles are the individual terms.
Mendel gave three laws of inheritance, that is law of dominance, law of segregation and law of independent assortment. He crossed true or pure breeding individuals for every character. That is, for example, for plant height, he crossed pure or true breeding tall with pure or true breeding dwarf, which means they were homozygous in nature. Homozygous means both the alleles are in the same state, that is either both are normal or both are modified. So both are either dominant or both are recessive. So he crossed a true or pure breeding homozygous tall with a true or pure breeding homozygous dwarf. How can we develop a true or pure breeding line? This may be asked in exam. True or pure breeding lines of pea plants were developed by several self-pollinations, which means suppose this is a plant, pea plant, this is one flower, and this is the male reproductive part, that is pollen grain is produced from here. This is female reproductive part and this is stigma. So for continuous generations, many generations, suppose the pollen grain is allowed to fall on this female reproductive part. So the offspring which will be produced will be identical to this plant. Suppose this plant produces green flowers. So every generation the offsprings which will be produced will have green flowers, which means they are true breeding or pure breeding, that is they are homozygous, because every generation, suppose this plant is TT and you are crossing it with itself. So you are using male, that is pollen grain TT, with female, that is they are produced by continuous self-pollination. That is, in every generation, the pollen grain of the same flower, same plant is allowed to fall on the stigma of the same flower, same plant. Suppose this is male reproductive part, pollen grain is produced, it is allowed to fall on the female reproductive part. As you all know, this is a single plant, so pollen grain and this egg, that is ovum, they both will have same genes. So suppose for plant height, pollen grain is having capital T alleles. So the egg will also have capital T because they are of the same plant. So when they will produce offsprings, they will be capital T. When that offspring is self-pollinated, that will also form offsprings with capital T. This goes on for generations and generations, as a result of which this capital T becomes stabilized, and then this capital T is allowed to cross with small t. This small t is also produced in the same way. So a true or pure breeding line is always homozygous and it is produced by continuous self-pollination. After law of dominance, let's see law of segregation. Suppose a tall plant is crossed with a dwarf plant. For example, eggs are produced from egg mother cell present in ovary and sperms are produced from sperm mother cell. Sperm mother cell and egg mother cell, they both undergo meiosis, and as a result of which they form eggs and sperms. Egg mother cell and sperm mother cell, they both are diploid. In our case, they are 46 in number. In case of pea plant, they are 14 in number. When gametes will be produced, they will form 23 number of chromosomes, and this cell will be called as either egg in case of female or sperm in case of male. Here they will form 7 number of chromosomes in case of gametes. So when gametes will be produced, every gamete will have one chromosome of this homologous pair. As a result of which, when gametes will be produced, each gamete will have at least one allele from this gene pair. That is, they will have T. When these chromosomes will segregate or will separate from one another to enter into gametes, they will carry along with them these alleles also. So genes and alleles, they travel along with chromosomes because they are present in chromosomes. So every gamete will have at least one allele of the allele pair or the gene pair. This is called as law of segregation. Law of dominance and law of segregation were formulated on the basis of monohybrid cross. As you all know, the meaning of monohybrid cross is only one character is chosen for crossing. Over here, all the genes are present, all the alleles are present, but we are concentrating on this one also. Suppose seed color, capital Y, suppose seed shape, capital R. So all the alleles are present, but we are concentrating, or we are trying to manipulate these genes or these alleles only. So let's suppose that tall plant is having yellow flower, round seed, or green pod shape. So all the alleles and genes are present because every chromosome carries many genes. There are 30,000 genes, but 1,20,000 proteins. So many genes are present on one chromosome. So when gamete will be produced, gametes will have one Y, one T, one R, one G. So every allele pair will segregate from one another, that is, they will separate from one another, and every allele, at least one allele will enter into one gamete. Suppose over here it is present capital Y, capital R, small r. So when gametes will be produced, we will have at least one T, R, small y, or we can have capital Y, small t, capital R. In this way, the alleles will segregate or separate from one another. I want to explain gene and allele in the simplest way possible. Suppose these are the two DNA which are complex or coiled to form these two chromosomes. This is the segment of DNA that will work for plant height. Suppose the plant height is tall in first case. There are three cases. In the first case, it is homozygous tall. So these both alleles will form functional segment of functional enzyme. This one will also form functional enzyme. This one will also form functional enzyme. There are two strands of DNA. Here also two strands of DNA. Suppose the sequence of both these strands are over here. This upper one is the sequence of this strand, and this one is the sequence of this strand. As these both are complementary, so if the upper strand is ATTTCG, the next one will be TAAAGC. The sequence of this segment of DNA over here will be exactly similar to the sequence present here, because this plant is homozygous tall. So the alleles will be exactly similar to one another. In case where they are heterozygous tall, that is, one allele will form functional copy of enzyme, whereas the other allele will form non-functional enzyme or no enzyme at all. In that case, the DNA which will be present over here will be slightly different from this DNA. Suppose over here, in case of these two T, C are present. So over here it will be G. This will be the sequence of nucleotides in both the alleles because they both are different. So this one will form functional segment. This one will form non-functional enzyme. So this allele will be different in nucleotide sequence to the allele which will be present over here. So the nucleotide sequences of both these alleles will be different little bit in case when one will be functional, other will be non-functional. And this nucleotide sequence is very long. I am considering a smaller segment for an example. Similarly, in case of small t, the both sequences will be similar because they both form functional protein. So this one will be TT and AA. That is, both the sequences will be similar in case of TT, capital T, small t. Only the nucleotide sequences will be different in case of capital T and small t.
With this, we come to the end of this video. In the next video lecture, I will talk about the law of independent assortment, as well as I will introduce linkage and recombination, which will help you in your board exams. Thank you for watching.